Hello, my name is Ian Gray, and welcome to the Optimist Investing YouTube channel. Today, I'll be introducing the Compounders Cup 2021, a 32-team FIFA World Cup style stock tournament using Twitter polls. This is my first YouTube video, and I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'm hoping to kind of get this going a little bit. I've got a lot of interesting ideas for some content to deliver these ways, and I'd really appreciate your feedback and tell me how I can improve and just what I can really help with. But today we're talking about the Compounders Cup. A couple months back, I ran a tournament called Multi-Bagger Madness that many of you participated in. It was a 64-team NCAA style tournament where we were trying to pick one stock using Twitter polls, answering the question, which stock will generate the greatest returns over a 10-year period? Here's some of the return data from that. The tournament ended up crowning Fastly champion. And as many of you know, it hasn't been the best 2 months for Fastly. That being said, let's take a look at some of these results. The round of 64 has had an average return of 8.53%, which is beating the market by 2%. The round of 32 is beating the market by about 4%. The round of 16 is beating the market by about 7%. And the Elite 8 is beating it by 9%. After that, it starts to get weighed down and significantly weighed down and has really poor performance, largely due to the poor performance of our champion, Fastly. It's interesting, though, taking a look at these results to see some of the dynamics at play. We see some of the benefits of concentration as we move down from 64 stocks to 32 stocks to 16 to 8, and that's where the peak of our performance is. As we move past that, we start to see some of the downsides of concentration. When one loser can really have a big impact on your overall gains in a portfolio. And that's what we see here. Now, 2 months is too early to really say exactly how this is all going to shake out. It's too early to really analyze, but it's kind of interesting to take a look at anyways. At the conclusion of Multi-Bagger Madness, many of you reached out and wanted me to launch another tournament right away. I thought that may have been a little counterproductive. I wanted to take a few weeks, kind of cool off a little bit. But now as we're approaching 2021, I thought it might be a fun idea to try and pick one stock that we think is going to be the best performer over the next 12 months for 2021, the best performing stock of 2021. I personally never invest based on what I think stock returns are going to do in 1 year. But sometimes for these types of tournaments, I've found, and people have told me this, that it's easier to think about in terms of 1 year and also easier to track. We don't have to wait 10 years to see if we were right or not. We can just see after 1 year whether FinTwit picked well. So that's why we're going with a 1 year time frame for which stock is going to perform the best over 2021. This brings me to another point. I would never personally invest in a single stock and put all my money in a single stock. I think that that is foolhardy and can really lead to a lot of potential losses. But that being said, I think the way that this tournament is formatted is kind of interesting because we get to see on a level by level basis as we move through the rounds which stocks FinTwit likes and kind of group them together in interesting little baskets and portfolios and see how they perform. As we got to see with the Multi-Bagger Madness stats, it's kind of interesting to see how it moves, how returns change from the round of 64 down to the Elite 8, down to the Final 4. So that's kind of why I like this tournament format. And it's just fun. It's a little bit entertaining and starts a conversation. You really kind of bring out some of the big fans for some of these stocks. And a lot of them have really deep knowledge of some of these stocks. And so it's a learning experience for all of us, including myself. So now I'm going to dive a little bit into the format of the Compounders Cup 2021. It's going to follow a format similar to the FIFA World Cup. So there's going to be 8 groups of 4 stocks each. Each of these groups is going to get put into a Twitter poll. And once you all vote on the Twitter poll, the top 2 stocks from each group will move on to the knockout round in the round of 16. And from there, it will proceed with head-to-head matchups in Twitter polls. And the stock with the higher percentage of votes will move on to the next round until we eventually crown a champion. I do want to point out, because of the limited nature of 32 stocks, there are going to be some stocks that were snubbed from this tournament. Now, that being said, I'd love to hear from you. You can tweet at me at Ian Gray Live. Let me know, how bad I was in choosing and all the faults of the committee. But there will be some stocks that are left out, and it's likely that the stock with the best returns in 2021 is probably not in this group of 32. But that being said, I'm hoping that we have a lot of fun and find some interesting results. This video is being published on Sunday, December 6th. The group stage is going to start December 7th and last through Thursday, December 10th. The round of 16 is going to start the following week and go Monday through Thursday of that week. The quarterfinals are going to start the week of December 21st and go through Christmas Eve. The semifinals are going to be 2 days, 2-day matchups, and it's going to be December 28th and December 29th. And then the final will be held for 2 days, December 30th through December 31st. One of the great things about this schedule is that it's going to end just in time to start tracking stocks for the entire new year after all the voting is completed. And so I'll get those trackers up and going, and we'll start tracking our performance and our returns starting on January 1st. Now, if you're perceptive, as I expect many of you are, you may have guessed that the stocks behind me are indeed the stocks that are going to be included in the Compounders Cup 2021. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and begin revealing the matchups. First up is the Advertising Innovators. The group consists of Digital Turbine, Acuity Ads, Pinterest, and the Trade Desk. Interestingly enough, Pinterest and the Trade Desk actually have almost identical market caps as of taping. If you're an active member of FinTwit, I'm presuming that you're familiar with Pinterest and the Trade Desk and probably even Digital Turbine. So one I'm going to focus on here is Acuity Ads. Acuity Ads is a demand-side platform for advertisers. As you can see, it has a market cap a fraction the size of the Trade Desk, and it may just be getting started. As with any type of small cap company like this, it's, there's a lot of risk involved, but a lot of people are beginning to compare it to the Trade Desk, and we'll see where it goes in the future. But I think this is a really, really interesting group. A lot of excitement around a lot of these names. Next up, we've got the International E-commerce Group, which probably could have also been called the Amazon of Group. We've got Cia Limited, Mercado Libre, which is oftentimes referred to as the Amazon of Latin America. We've got OZON, the Amazon of Russia, JMIA, the Amazon of Africa. Interestingly enough, though, Cia Limited has seemed to escape the Amazon of title in more recent months. It's with its gaming and its payments, it seems to kind of be creating and getting rewarded for being something that's its own and not necessarily just being lumped in under this title of being the Amazon of Southeast Asia. Next, we have our modern healthcare group. This one's a really interesting one. We've got Teledoc Health, OnTrack, NNOX, and Butterfly Network, which is just in the process of merging with the SPAC. Teledoc Health has been a pretty controversial stock over the last year. It was a darling as we got into COVID times and people were using more virtual healthcare. When it acquired Livongo, there was a lot of angry Livongo Health shareholders. So it's been a little bit of a bumpy ride the last couple of months, sitting at a $30 billion market cap today. We've also got three really small companies here. We've got OnTrack at a sub-billion dollar market cap. We've got Butterfly Network at a sub-billion dollar market cap. We've got NNOX at about a $3 billion market cap. NNOX is trying to reinvent medical imaging and really make it more accessible for people all around the world. And I'd say you should really take a look at it. It's interesting what they're doing. And if it's legit, it's going to be a pretty impressive technology. OnTrack is trying to become sort of like Teledoc Health, but for mental health. They have a value proposition that says we can help treat a lot of these mental health issues and addiction issues. And that's actually going to save insurance companies money because a lot of these chronic health problems, they say actually stem in large part from underlying addictions and mental health issues. And so they try and solve those issues and save insurance companies money, and that's how they make their money. The Butterfly Network is one that I've just become aware of, and they're trying to make a portable ultrasound machine. Another really kind of interesting thing. I think modern healthcare has a lot of interesting directions it could go in, and we may be at the beginning of an age of a lot of medical innovation. Now let's take a look at the Let's Have Some Fun group. This group consists of Tesla, Roblox, Roku, and Skills. Tesla, you love it or you hate it. Everyone's got an opinion on it. We'll see how it fares in this tournament. Roblox, very interesting company. Recently did a deep dive on it with the Chit Chat Money guys. I'd really encourage you to go check that out anywhere podcasts are. We've also got Skills, which is another interesting company that's helping creators monetize their games. Again, I actually did another deep dive episode with Chit Chat Money on Skills, and I'd go take a look at it. It's currently merging with a SPAC as well. We've got Roku and Roku TV. Has been a big success this year, and we'll see how it continues in the future. One more note on Roblox. It's pre-IPO. So it doesn't have a market cap. There's a lot of speculation about what the valuation might be. The last time it raised money, it raised it at about a $4 billion valuation back in the spring prior to COVID, really. And since then, it has seen enormous growth. Back in early October, there was speculation that um, valuation may have doubled to about $8 billion. On the deep dive episode I did with Chit Chat Money, we were speculating that based on their more recent growth numbers, we think that it could IPO in the range of $40 billion based on some other comps. It'll be interesting to see where that comes out. The IPO is going to be sometime in this next month, likely. We haven't gotten a firm date for sure, but we'll keep an eye on that. Now let's take a look at the Financial Freedom Group. This is one of my favorite groups because all these companies are helping small businesses or entrepreneurs really make money and support themselves and better their lives. So we've got Square, Fiverr, Lightspeed, and Shopify in this group. The company I want to point out from this group is Lightspeed. It's a Canadian company that does a lot of similar work to Square. They provide point of sale services and other types of business apps for small businesses, particularly golf courses and restaurants. They've made a couple of acquisitions in the last couple of years that have really helped spur their revenue growth, and they're going to look to continue to make strategic acquisitions to expand their customers and their services. Next, let's take a look at the New Age of Real Estate group. This group is interesting because we've got an iBuyer and Opendoor, full service digital realty in Fathom. We've got e-bike, Peloton, and Zoom Video. And the reason I included Peloton and Zoom Video in this group is that Zoom has made residential real estate just a different animal. By the amount of time you can spend at home, zooming in, doing virtual meetings, classes, all sorts of stuff, it's changed real estate. I think Peloton has had a similar effect on residential real estate. By making it so that you can have your gym in your home, it's really changed the way that people can function and people can view their houses. So again, a really interesting group. We've got both Opendoor at $1 billion market cap and Fathom Realty at sub $1 billion market cap. A couple of pretty small companies here. Opendoor is a SPAC. It's actually one of Chamath's SPACs, and it'll be interesting to see where these companies go in the future. Now let's turn our attention to the cloud support group. Another fun group here. We've got CrowdStrike, Cloudflare, Fastly, the champion of multi-bagger madness, who has since encountered some hard times. We've got OKTA, darling of the market. A lot of kind of similar market caps here. We range from $10 billion to about $37 billion. So this will be an interesting group to see how it shakes out. I suspect that Fastly may have trouble getting out of this group, which is pretty remarkable given that 2 months ago it was winning the whole tournament. So we'll see how it goes. But a lot of interesting companies here for sure. And finally, let's take a look at the recovery group. This group consists of Marriott, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, Southwest Airlines, and Delta Airlines. Again, market caps that are all pretty similar here, ranging from 19 billion to 44 billion. But let's take a look at these graphs. It's pretty remarkable how rocky this year has been. And no one could have predicted this. No one has any idea exactly how the world is going to be affected or go back to normal. It'll be interesting with all these vaccine news to see how things recover in the coming years. But these stocks have the potential to be some pretty big gainers over the next couple of years if the market is discounting the potential recovery. This may or may not be the group for you, but it's definitely one that I thought should be included in the Compounders Cup 2021. Thank you for watching this video. Like I said at the beginning, this is my first YouTube video ever. I don't think I'm very good at it. I'm working on it, but I'd really take any tips or tricks you have, any advice, and any content ideas too. I'm currently kind of developing a few ideas for what I might do with this YouTube channel and Optimist investing in general. And so I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you think. If you have any more questions about this tournament, anything that I made unclear, please comment below and I'll take a look at it and get back to you soon. The first matchups are going to be on Monday, December 6th, like I said, and we're going to get this tournament going. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to post some updates throughout this tournament to this YouTube channel. So like, subscribe, follow along. You can follow along and vote by following me at Ian Gray Live on Twitter. You can subscribe to my Substack. It's a free Substack at Optimist Investing. Just thank you for watching this video. It really means a lot that you're taking a few minutes out of your day to check in with me and and learn a little bit about this tournament.